Welcome to day 43 of the NBA playoffs, the final day of the NBA playoffs. The Lakers have won the NBA championship in 6 games, winning tonight 106-93. It was close as it seemed. This game was kind of over by halftime, where the score was 64-36. This game was kind of over by halftime. The Heat they kind of made a little bit closer. They were only down by 21 with like 8 minutes left. But by then, Lakers just had to get a few stops and score a few scores to win this game. LeBron James, he was named Finals MVP tonight. He had a pretty good night. He was 13 of 20 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, a plus 18 on the plus-minus scale, and he had 28 points. He was really dominant tonight, inside the paint, where he was 12 of 15. Overall, it was a really nice night for him. AD played well as well. The only reason I guess he didn't get Finals MVP was because of that poor game in Game 3. Where he kind of didn't really show up. AD actually had a little bit of foul trouble in the first half. And actually, LeBron James had to kind of substitute for him, where they kind of want to keep one superstar on the floor for the Lakers. So LeBron had to substitute for him in the late minutes of the first quarter, and he was very key in those late minutes and extending the blowout. Anthony Davis, his stat line tonight was 7 of 17 from the floor, 0 of 3 from the three-point line, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, a plus 18 on the plus-minus scale, 4 personal fouls, and 19 points. He was very good tonight, especially when catching passes or getting passes from Rajon Rondo, who's actually very key for the Lakers tonight, which kind of brings me to my next point. Rajon Rondo was 8 of 11 from the field, 3 of 4 from the three-point line, 19 points, a plus 5 on the plus-minus scale. He was really dominant tonight, and I think it was a huge of his finals. The only game he played well in besides this game was Game 2. And he was very key in the victory tonight and making sure this game stayed a blowout, especially when the Heat were kind of sort of maybe coming back. They were only down by 21 at some point in the fourth, and he was key at keeping the Heat at bay. One of the reasons I think this was a blowout from the early on was because of the lineup change the Lakers made. They put Anthony Davis at the 5 position, subbed out or benched Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard didn't even actually play that much today. He just played 1 minute of garbage time, made a 3, which was actually the last shot of the game, which was kind of funny. It was 1 of 1 from the field, and 1 of 1 from 3. They kind of subbed out they subbed out Dwight Howard, and Caruso was put in. So it was Caruso, Caldwell Pope, Danny Green, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. I think that was one of the real reasons they won this game. It would have been interesting to see what kind of adjustments Vogel made from Game 5. We didn't really see anything more than that lineup change, just because it was a 10-point lead or a 10-point lead for the Lakers in the early moments of this game. This wasn't really a game past like the middle of the second quarter. The Lakers kind of took over this game. They had that huge 36 points in the second quarter to the Heat's 16. I think one of the reasons, the reason the Lakers, dominated this game was because of their ability to control the paint in this game. At least on the offensive end, I think that lineup allowed them to control the paint, and I don't really think they were a match. I don't really think the Heat could match Anthony Davis with anyone, not even Bam. And no one could really stop them. At some point it was like 36-point paints for the Lakers, and the Heat had like 0 or something like that. The Heat would actually, like, in garbage time, get a lot of points in the paint. The ratio ended up being 52 points for the Lakers in the paint and 44 points for the Heat. I mean, the Heat kind of made this really close towards the end, or they kind of showed that it wasn't, kind of softened up the score a little bit. The Heat had 35 points in the fourth, and by then, I mean, the Lakers weren't really taking it seriously. There was a little bit of concern, as I said, where they kind of weren't taking it seriously. Then around the 6-minute mark, they started taking, or the 8-minute mark, excuse me, they started taking it seriously, and they put the intensity back on. And another thing I want to point out was LeBron James, his assist to turnover ratio. He had 1 turnover. It was a garbage time turnover. But he had 10 assists in this game. It was pretty impressive. Another thing I want to touch about LeBron's performance tonight was his defensive presence. Tonight, another one of Vogel's adjustments that we saw, he probably had a couple more. Again, this game was a blowout. Was that he was guarding Jimmy Butler. And he was really good on Jimmy Butler tonight. Jimmy Butler tonight, he was 5 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. 12 points. And, I mean, it was somewhat him just not being aggressive enough. But, I mean, a lot of that goes to Jimmy Butler getting good looks at the basket. And that is really in huge part because of LeBron's defense in this game. I guess I'm going to talk about a little bit positive about the Heat. Bam Adebayo, he was pretty good tonight. 10 of 15 from the floor, 5 of 9 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and 25 points. He was kind of the lone good player for the Heat tonight on the offensive end. I mean, he was getting good looks at the basket, getting good shots. And, I mean, there's not much I could say about this game. It was really a blowout from the beginning. I know there's a little bit of a shorter video, but a little couple things that I could mention. Caldwell Pope, he continues to play well, or I guess now he played well in this final series. He had 16 of 13 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, a +8 in the plus-minus scale, and in 17 points. Something that was nice to see, besides Caldwell Pope's good performance, was Danny Green's performance tonight as well. It was kind of really nice to see, especially after he had that he missed that shot in Game 6 to win it. He was 4 of 10 from the field tonight, 3 of 7 from 3, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, a +5 on the plus-minus scale, and had 11 points. His performance tonight was really nice to see, just because he was getting a lot of hate online, and it was nice to see him play well tonight. Hey, I'm gonna get into shooting stats now. So the Lakers, they shot 48% from the field goal. From the field, they shot 56% from within the 3-point arc, and they shot 31% from 3. They also shot 64% from the free throw line. The Heat, on the other hand, they shot 59% from the free throw line. They shot 35% from 3, 49% from within the 3-point arc, and they shot 44% overall. That's really all I got from this game. I mean, this game was a blowout from the beginning. The Heat never led in this game. And yeah, thanks for watching. It's been fun to do this little series. We made it to the end. Unfortunately, we don't know when we're gonna have basketball again. But yeah, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.